Hey y'all, I'm Mandy. This is Mandy in the Making.
If you are like me, you love pasta. Today we're going to share 5 of our family's favorite pasta dishes with you. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. You're just going to drink your coffee. We are getting dinner started. We're having chicken Alfredo tonight with penne pasta and a Caesar salad. So we're gonna kind of blacken the chicken a little bit, pretty much. I've got chicken tenders here, and so I'm gonna add the spices to it. All right, the first spice I'm gonna be using is just some black pepper. The second spice we're gonna add is just a little bit of salt. Next, we're gonna do some garlic powder. All right, so now I'm just gonna flip these over and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so now we're gonna get started on the sauce, and the first thing we need to do is melt a whole stick of butter. So I'm gonna put that on there and let that melt down. It shouldn't take long. Now that that is melted, I'm gonna add in 2 cups of heavy cream. I'm gonna let this heat through before I add the Parmesan cheese. I wanna make sure that the heavy cream is good and warm, good and hot. And then I'm gonna add in the Parmesan cheese so that it will melt right away. All right, now that this is heated through, I'm gonna add all of this cheese and let it just melt down and thicken up the sauce. My hubby is just adding some black pepper. Lastly, we're just gonna add in a little bit of minced garlic. That's probably equal to about maybe 3 cloves of garlic. We're gonna let that kind of just all mix together and heat through, and then we're gonna add in the noodles. So what we're doing is just kind of mixing all of this up in the bag. That's the easiest way to do it, and then we're gonna pour it in a bowl and top it with the croutons that came with it as well. All right, so this is now completely done, and what we're gonna do is just put this pasta in there and coat it really well. I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute to heat the pasta all the way back through, because it had been sitting out for just a minute, and then we're gonna transfer it to this dish, and then it's gonna be time to eat. Hey, how are you? My friend Chrissy is here. I've known her for, how many years have we known each other?
7 years?
Oh my word.
I know, that's crazy. 7 years, wow.
She's a Mary Kay sales director. She's doing awesome. About to earn her pink Cadillac. She's amazing. Okay, cool. Get some chicken in here. Is that good?
Tasty. The chicken is like juicy. What did you season it with?
We seasoned it with garlic powder, paprika, and salt and pepper. Is it good?
Very good.
Yay!
Very good, very good, very good.
Chrissy likes it. Each video, we try to do it every video. We have Stephen read some of your comments from the previous video. So today we're going to be reading comments from Friday's video, the winter dinners.
ML Cruey says, I like to add honey and paprika to my carrots. They are so good.
I love that idea. We love paprika, and I'm
do.
sure that would give it a good color.
It would give it some
and
color.
And then honey?
Yeah.
Answer me this. Do I forego the brown sugar, or do I do like half honey, half brown sugar? Let me know about that.
Experimentation.
Experimentation is right. Tonight we are having Tuscan tortellini soup. This one is super simple. We're gonna dump everything into the crock pot, With the exception of the tortellini and the spinach, we will add those closer to time to eat. To the bottom, we're gonna add 1 pound of chicken breasts. This entire container of chicken broth, you need 4 cups, 2 cans of diced tomatoes, 1 small onion that I diced, a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 cup of heavy cream, a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. We need about a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of pepper. And that is it, y'all. I'm just gonna stir this up a little bit. We're gonna put a lid on this, and this is gonna cook on high for 5 to 6 hours. We'll shred our chicken at the end of that time, and then we'll add in tortellini and some spinach. And tonight's dinner is gonna be so good. Okay, it is now time to shred our chicken. So I'm just gonna go in with this mix and chop tool. It works really well to shred chicken. Now let's add in our tortellini. You need 18 ounces of tortellini. I've just got cheese tortellini. This is refrigerated tortellini. It was not frozen. I'm sure you could use frozen, but it would probably need to cook a little bit longer because it would cool everything down so incredibly much. I'm gonna add in spinach. I am really weird. Let me know below if you're weird too, like me, and you don't like the stems. Not a fan of the stems. So I'm just gonna stand here and kind of tear off stems and add it in, and I'll meet you back here in just a little bit. It says to let it cook for another hour.
So that Tuscan flavor is definitely in there. It's got that tomato-y, creamy.
Yes.
And then you got the tortellini with the little surprise inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm excited to try this. It smells so good. Like, it smells tomatoey, but it also smells very creamy. It just, the house has been smelling amazing. So I'm going to give it a try. Cole isn't here, unfortunately. I think he would really like this one. Can I help you? Do you need something? You don't need nothing. This is something you would get at an Italian restaurant good.
Diane Guy says, dinner's not ready till the bread is burned.
Correct.
That's our motto.
Correct. It's our motto too.
That's good.
I always start the broiler and I'm like, I'm not going to burn it this time. I'm going to pay attention.
Right.
And within 10 seconds, I'm off doing something else. And then I'm like,
that's right.
Oh, bread. Every time. Or Steven will come in and say, and I know what he means. I know that he means, there's something under the broiler and it's starting to burn.
Some bread you can burn and it's all right. You know,
Well,
you just kind of scrape it a little bit,
Yeah.
throw a little extra dose of butter on there and keep rolling.
That's right. I'm making spicy Thai noodles, and we're just going to add some rotisserie chicken in for the protein. There's really not much chopping that I have to do on this night. I decided we would add scallions to ours as well as carrots. You could also add peanuts, cilantro, sriracha, sesame seeds. It's really up to you what you garnish your noodles with. I'm just going to bring this pot of water up to a boil for our noodles. So to get started, I'm going to add our toasted sesame oil to the pan. We're going to let this heat up all together because we're going to be adding in some red pepper flakes to infuse the oil. Ooh, I said oil. Are you proud of me?
I am.
Ooh,
Oil.
I'm fancy. So here's our vegetable oil. And I'll leave all the measurements below. I am almost doubling everything because we are adding chicken in, and I wanted enough sauce to coat the chicken. Now, this is what we're gonna be infusing our oil with. So let me add this in. We're gonna strain the red pepper flakes out in just a minute. And then we're also going to infuse the oil with garlic like Steven likes.
Garlic.
Garlic, honey. Oh, it's already heating up. So once this gets really hot, that's when we'll strain it. Okay, I think this is ready. What we're gonna do is strain it into this bowl over here. And I'm hoping I don't make a huge mess, but it's quite possible.
Like a pro.
Okay, our water is ready. I'm gonna be using linguine. You can use spaghetti. You can use pretty much any pasta you want. I'm gonna add this in and we're just gonna boil this just like we would normally for any pasta dish. We are gonna use the entire box. It's like pickup sticks. You remember that game?
Very exotic. They're melting, they're melting.
Okay, we're gonna add our oil back in. And now I'm gonna add in some chili paste. Again, I'll have all the measurements below, but I did pretty much double it. And stir that around. And now I'm gonna add in some soy sauce. This is low sodium soy sauce. And some honey. Okay, while this sits here and just kind of all, what's the word that you don't think is a word, baby?
Congeal.
No, that's not the
Oh.
Meld.
Meld.
This is not going to congeal.
Oh, I just got popped.
Oh,
You better
baby.
calm down.
Anyway, we're gonna let all of this kind of infuse together and meld
Let it
together, and then we are going to add our pasta in just a little bit. We're gonna add our chicken in first. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the chicken out because Cole is kind of funny about Thai food, Chinese food. So I'm gonna leave some chicken out for him just in case. I just wanted to make sure our chicken got coated really well before we added in our pasta. There we go. I'm glad I doubled that sauce, baby. I'm gonna add our carrots in, stir those around, and then we're gonna be ready to eat. Okay, tell him. Confession time.
I had to take a bite.
He took a bite while we were still in the kitchen.
It's amazing. That's delicious. I love the spiciness of it.
So is it super spicy? Is it gonna be too spicy for me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's a medium spice.
Ooh, you know, sriracha sauce would go good on this too.
That oil that's infused with all the flavor, that's really nice. I mean, you definitely get the nuttiness of the sesame seed oil in there. And then you get that rich flavor of the garlic and then the spice and everything. It's really, really good. It's great flavor. Gotta kick it up a notch.
It's a lot more than just
Or
a notch.
7.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh yeah. Spicy, 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 spicy.
So you want me to make this one again?
Definitely.
Awesome. So I definitely thought it could use a little more spice as well, so I added some sriracha to mine, but this is so incredibly good. I love how easy and fast this was, and it definitely quenches that craving, doesn't it, babe?
It does. It's a great alternative to takeout for sure.
Cole tried a bite of this in the kitchen and he was not a fan in true Cole fashion. So he's gonna eat something else tonight. I'm not gonna force him to eat this. I knew going into this that he would probably not partake.
Tiana.
I would say Tiana, but
Because of you, I bought the cheese grater. It's my husband's and my favorite gadget. Thank you.
y'all, that cheese grater, if you saw in Friday's video, I used it to grate zucchini and squash as well. I used it for potatoes in that, or sliced potatoes with it in that video. And of course, cheese. It has so many uses. We love that thing. A subscriber sent it to me a couple of years ago, and the one that we have is from QVC, but it's been discontinued. But I have one linked in my Amazon store.
Which one is it?
I don't. It's called like the brand was
grater
called.
that you have here?
Yeah, that one. No,
Oh.
the cheese grater, baby.
Oh, the cheese grater.
He grabbed the lemon zester.
Oh. This contraption.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
it's the best thing.
I like it because, look, you can just... It doesn't break. You can throw it around. It's a feature. It's very durable.
Yeah.
Let's see, it just comes apart. You throw it in the dishwasher.
Yeah. It's
Forget
very easy
about
to
it.
clean. Yeah. So I've got one linked to my Amazon store that's pretty much identical to that. And it has really great ratings. So go check that out. And I think it has different colors too.
Plus,
so.
it's very satisfying to watch.
It is.
The cheese.
And if you're a cook and you like to grate cheese, you know what a pain it is to grate cheese. So this makes it just, I mean, so incredibly easy.
I'm always scratching myself or something on those graters.
Yeah, they're awful. Tonight I'm making stuffed shells with spinach. I do need to lightly beat these eggs, so I'm gonna do that really quickly. And then we're gonna go over to the stove and get started. I've got 1 pound of ground Italian sausage. This is the mild, but if you wanted to spice it up, and if my store would have had spicy, I would have gotten it. But you could totally get the spicy Italian sausage instead. So now this is cooked up. I'm just going to transfer it over here to this plate. And then in this same skillet, I'm gonna add 4 cups of baby spinach. I did go ahead and remove the stems. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat off and take it off of the heat. And let's go ahead and put our shells in the water. And these are the jumbo shells. And we're just going to cook them until they are pliable so that we can fill them with the cheese. Okay, in this big mixing bowl, I've got 12 ounces of mozzarella. I'm gonna use about 2/3 of it right now. I've got 3/4 a cup of Parmesan cheese. And again, I'm gonna use about 2/3 of it. We're just reserving this extra cheese to go on top of the dish. Okay, I've got a 32-ounce container of ricotta cheese. Our 2 eggs. I've got a teaspoon of dried oregano. And then this next part, this looks like a lot of garlic powder, but she promised that you're supposed to use a whole lot. So this is 4 teaspoons of garlic powder. You know what? I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper too. Okay, I'm gonna mix this up, and then once this gets combined, I'm gonna add in our spinach. So this is what I mean by pliable. Without them breaking, you can move them around, but they are definitely like al dente. They are not all the way done. But these are gonna go in the oven in just a few minutes, so they will be perfect by the time it's time to eat. I've got this 45-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce. I got the garden chunky tomato, onion, garlic. I think you could use whatever brand, whatever kind you prefer. I'm just pouring this entire thing in the bottom of this 9x13 pan. Here comes the fun part. So I'm gonna take each one and put some cheese mixture inside, and then set it down into the spaghetti mixture, or the spaghetti sauce, I mean. And line the whole pan just like that. So when you get one like this, turn it to the end so you can kind of push it open like that. I learned that the hard way. Now I'm just gonna take this Italian sausage and just sprinkle it all over the top. I'm gonna take our leftover cheese and just kind of sprinkle it across the top. Just gonna cover this. And this is going in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. So it's been in for 30 minutes. I'm taking the top off and I'm gonna put it back in for another 5 minutes or so. If you didn't have glass, you could definitely broil it if you wanted to as well. The recipe called for dried parsley, but I already had this fresh parsley on hand. So I'm just gonna run a knife through this really quickly. and it's gonna go on top. So we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes before we serve it.
The shells are perfect. Perfectly cooked. I love that ricotta cheese stuffing with the spinach in there. That's a really nice touch. With that sausage on there, lots of flavor in that sausage.
4 teaspoons of garlic powder. Are you like overwhelmed with garlic, or do you
No,
think it
not at all.
mellowed out?
No, it's perfectly seasoned.
Cole gave me a thumbs up. Well, he was nodding over there while he was eating, so. Oh, there we go. So it is kid approved for sure. Gracie, is it Gracie approved?
I grate zucchini, squash, and carrots and mix it with ground beef as a filler when I make homemade spaghetti sauce. Everyone loves it and no one knows it's packed full of veggies.
I love that tip.
It's really good.
Because with the cost of groceries today, it's very expensive. So if you're really wanting to kind of bulk up a meal that has ground beef, grate some veggies. I think she said she does zucchini, squash, and carrots, and mix it in there, and it will bulk it up, and it gets you those extra veggies too.
That's right.
Nobody has to know.
I'm making lemon butter chicken and a quick and easy garlic and Parmesan orzo. So I'm gonna prep everything for both the side dish and our main dish. These are gonna be cooking at the same time, so I just wanna make sure everything is ready so that I can kind of switch back and forth over there at the stove. One of the recipes calls for shallot, and my grocery store didn't have any left, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of onion instead. Lastly, I just need to chop up just a little bit of this parsley. This is just gonna be the finishing touch on our chicken. So I've got really thick chicken breasts here. I'm gonna cut them in half, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and pound them out to make them super thin. And we are going to salt and pepper them and then put them in some flour. I've got about 1/3 cup or so of flour, and we will dip them in on both sides. I didn't want my clothes to get messy, so thought I would break out the apron. I don't use it as often as I should. I should probably use it every single time because I always get stuff all over me. Anyway, let's do this. So this is just to make sure that they're all kind of even and they're thin, but it's also tenderizing the chicken breasts. And we just want these lightly coated. Doesn't have to be super thick or anything. Now let's get started on the orzo first. Just gonna turn our pan to about medium high. You wanna make sure you have a pan that has a good depth to it because you are gonna be adding some liquid. I've got 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're gonna melt that down. I'm gonna go ahead and saute our onions. I'm just gonna cook these until they're soft, and at the very end I'm gonna add in our garlic just so it doesn't burn. Got 2 cloves of garlic that's been minced. Now I'm gonna add in 1 cup of milk, 2 cups of chicken broth, some salt and pepper, and about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. So I whisked it and made sure that I got everything up off of the bottom of the pan. And now I'm gonna add in a cup of dry orzo. Okay, I'm gonna set the timer for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna bring this up into like a bubble or a boil, and then we will turn down the heat. Got our large skillet heated to about medium-high heat. I'm gonna add in a little bit of olive oil, couple of tablespoons of butter, and let that melt down. This has started to bubble. I'm gonna turn it down to about medium low. And we're just gonna let this simmer and hang out until the pasta is cooked. Okay, I'm gonna have to work in 2 batches since we have 6 chicken breasts, but we're just gonna cook these until they're done. Our orzo is done. I'm gonna add in about 3/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. We're gonna let that melt down. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. And I'm gonna add in a couple of handfuls of baby spinach. And I'm just gonna stir this in and let it wilt down, and this will be ready. In this same skillet, I've turned down the heat to about medium. I'm gonna add a little more olive oil, and we're gonna saute our garlic. We're just going to let this saute for like 20 seconds, just until I can smell it. Now I'm gonna add in 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And we need about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're gonna let this simmer for just a couple of minutes. We want it to reduce down to about half of the amount of liquid that's in there now. So that is reduced down. I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm gonna let this melt. I zested the lemon, and I have about 1/2 teaspoon or so of lemon zest. That's gonna go in there with it. I'm just adding our chicken breasts back in here. And I'm just kind of letting them soak up some of that good lemony, garlicky flavor. And it's gonna be time to eat.
Yeah, this looks like something out of a restaurant for sure.
It really does.
Really good.
It's been smelling so good in here.
You did it again.
I did it again.
This is amazing.
Yay.
Definitely restaurant quality. That is super creamy.
It really is.
Love the texture of that. Very creamy. And with the spinach in there, oh, that is a nice touch.
Thumbs up.
Good job.
What about from you, Cole? Cole's too busy eating, but he gave me a, oh, there he is. Y'all have to try this. That chicken, what did you just say, babe? Oh my word.
I mean, I would legit order this.
From a restaurant.
For sure.
It is so tender, and he's right. That flour made all of the flavors just stick right to it. It is so good, y'all.